Carville.
Mr Speaker, I move that the 74th report of the Public Works Committee for the 54th Parliament entitled Mount Compass Area School Redevelopment Project be noted. The reception to Year 12 Mount Compass Area School requires additional capacity to support the transition of Year 7 students to high school in 2022, and the school was allocated total project funding of $9.75 million as part of the Department for Education's Capital Works program. Broadly, Mr Speaker, the scope of the redevelopment at Mount Compass includes construction of new buildings and refurbishment to existing facilities, and the scope of work in more detail contemplates the construction of a new administration building with foyer and reception areas, offices, storage and staff amenities, the construction of a new art and technical studies building with teacher preparation, storage and student amenities, a new student services building with the book and uniform storage and student facilities or amenities within that portion of the construction as well, a new home economics building with learning areas, a new school canteen, the construction of a new dual classroom building that would also be used as a performance space, refurbishment of change rooms and the gym, and a new school entry. When complete, Mr Speaker, the redevelopment project will provide Mount Compass Area School with the required capacity to accommodate 600 students, and in doing so cater for the future transition of Year 7 students to high school, as earlier mentioned. The committee has examined written evidence in relation to the Mount Compass Area School Redevelopment Project, which advised that the appropriate consultation in relation to this project had been undertaken. And the committee is satisfied that the proposal has been subject to the appropriate agency consultation and meets the criteria for the examination of projects set out in the Parliamentary Committees Act 1991. Having regard to the evidence considered in pursuant to Section 12C of the Parliamentary Committees Act 1991, Mr Speaker, the Public Works Committee reports to Parliament that it recommends the scope of the proposed public works.
Minister for Education.
Thank you, sir. It's an absolute delight for me to be able to reflect on this extremely positive project at the Mount Compass Area School. A project, indeed, that was born with a $5 million proposal offered in 2017 by the former government, but which this government expanded firstly to be some $9 million and change, as the member for Carville just identified, and then to ensure that we could gain the full scope of the project, I've given authority for that to be expanded, in fact, to an $11.1 million investment. An investment by the people of South Australia that will ensure that the Mount Compass Area School can have the redevelopment that it needs to not only enable the Year 7 transition to go forward with appropriate capacity and indeed the quality of the infrastructure for those Year 7s to be able to access the junior secondary curriculum in the way that it is designed to be taught, but also to deal with some of the extremely ageing infrastructure that was left for many, many years by the former government, unfortunately. A number of those issues have been on the cards for a long time in need of address. I'm really pleased that we're able to now do so, and I remember visiting this school a couple of years ago. In fact, I think it was October 2018, with the member for Finnis, and he obviously has very close connections with this school community and has had for a long period of time. We were impressed at the way that the school is integrating their STEM facility into the way that the school is working, but there was so much left to do. And we're really pleased that this project will now do that with the new administration building, the improved home economics, the new tech studies. And I remember going into that tech studies existing facility with Mr Basham, the local MP. And I tell you what, the tech studies facilities that I remember from the 1990s were a bit dated then, but I think that the Mount Compass Area School in 2019, unfortunately, was a very similar situation. 2018, it's a very similar situation as mine was in the early 1990s. that's going to be a dramatically welcomed step forward, I think, by the school and the school community. Approving disability access on a site that's quite undulating, I think, will be very welcomed. So, Dash Architects and Cook Building and Development, the builders, I'm very confident will support the school very well, and I can't wait to see what's achieved, hopefully without any foreseeable troubles in October next year.
The member for Carville speaks. He closes debate. Member for Carville.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I acknowledge the Minister's commitment to this project over a number of years, his familiarity with the needs of the school and the work that he's undertaken very closely, I might add, with the member for Finnis to ensure that additional funding can be brought forward to see this project to
And the member for Mayo as well.
completion. It's also right for me to acknowledge the member for Mayo's contribution to ensuring the completion of the project. The member for Finnis, as you know, Mr Speaker, sharing a boundary as you do, is a passionate advocate for improvements to education within his electoral district and further afield, and certainly very familiar with the needs of this school, and the additional funding is certainly needed, much appreciated by the school community, and will see and ensure the development of new facilities that will stand the school in good stead for the growth that is anticipated as a result of the transition of Year 7 into high school and additional future needs at the school site. Also very appreciative to Dash Architects and Cook the Builders, and acknowledge those very hard-working Education Department staff that have ensured too that this project can be realised in the appropriate form that it has been.
The question is that the 74th report of the Public Works Committee entitled Mount Campus Area School Redevelopment Project be noted. As it's seconded. Put it at once. Those opinions say aye. Against say no. It's carried. Clerk.